Ah, guys, reluctantly, here we go. Into the morgue. TOWD, also known as Seven Wicked Sins, back again.
Do you see, Daniel? It has yielded. What? The shadow. It has? For now. Come. Let's get this out of here so we can get some peace.
Yes, let's. Where to?
Just down the corridor to the morgue.
Are there more dead men there?
In the morgue?
Well, Daniel. Come, let's get going.
Are there more dead men in the morgue? Did you really just ask that?
Alexander along with Daniel makes up the foundation for the entire story. Together they make the core conflict. There was a lot of background for this character as he is in a sense the villain, so I wanted to do everything that I could to make him likable and have people sympathize with him. It's just the best way to make a bad guy. If we can have the player feel for their opponent, they might start questioning their own actions. Alexander's story is quite interesting in its own right, but in the end it was important to have the story deal with the relationship between Daniel and Alexander. That's why there is so much about the last few weeks and so little about the history of Alexander. Because after all, since we're playing Daniel and he seemed to want to get back at Alexander, we the player want to know how bad it really was and decide for ourselves if we think he should be punished.
I fear for Daniel, for he is reckless. He is tainted by the approaching shadow and will not be able to pass the gates. Will he be able to accept this in the end? My love, I've seen evil in him. How am I to trust him with the truth? What cruel irony that I have to do unto him what a great little whatever the fuck your name is did to me. It's like he was betrayed, maybe? Vaccine, enabling by men to work regular shooters. A definite success. Unfortunately, only a few servants have been remedied as the procedure proved difficult. The other perish, and eventually I would have to create more of them to keep my experiments running. Note the injection of the vaccinated blood will work as a shield long enough to pass the sewers without any risk of infection. Ew. Huh.
The flashback of the guy trapped is actually inspired by true events. During the...
What happened? Why are all these dead? Where am I? What's happening? Help! Anybody! Help! This is ridiculous. Why doesn't someone come to this room? Hey! Anybody! Am I all alone here? Help! Help! I'm so tired. If I sleep, will I wake from this nightmare? If not, I pray my Heavenly Father will take me in my sleep.
The flashback of the guy trapped is actually inspired by true events. During the bubonic plague outbreaks, people were buried so quickly that it was not always checked that they were probably dead. This meant that people sometimes woke up, finding themselves locked up, entombed, surrounded by corpses. Scratches on doors and walls of such rooms have been found, confirming that it did happen.
Plague outbreaks, extreme deaths among the servants and the prisoners have finally been resolved. It seems that the drain in the sewer has recently been opened up for the use of means of the transport. Is plagued by a particular poison fungus. The victim seems to suffer an extremely quick outbreak of sickness affecting the entire body. Some of my men, including myself, are blissfully spared by this calamity, but it is clear that this cripples my progress. The prisoners die quickly and they're contaminated. Battle lacks the energy I seek. I shall immediately start working on a vaccine.
As with the cistern, this takes the player closer to Daniel's dark past. It was important here that the corpses did not have the normal gory shock value, but was more true to reality and disturbing. We
Peener.
really wanted to approach this stuff with respect and not just show it in an exploitative fashion. I hope that shows when you play the game.
Nope. Nope. Bye. Nope. Suck my balls. Nope. Nope. Oh, fuck this.
Somehow, every adventurer finds himself in a sewer at some point in his life, and Daniel is no different. Usually these levels tend to be a bit dull, but this one turned out rather okay. Quite a step up from the last sewer level I did in Penumbra Requiem. It was supposed to be a blue tinted level, with a feeling of being cold and damp, but it stood out too much to really fit in with the other levels. We settled for a green tint on the brown dungeon set, as it worked nicely as a transition between the cistern's green stones and the brown torture nave level.
This here was my first job at Crystal Castle.
What's happening? What are you doing? Let me go! Please, don't take me! Nobody ever return!
This here was my first job at Scripting Castle. I must say that I like working on script, but that's probably because I love anything that looks or feels like programming. Scripting puzzles does not involve just writing a plain script. You also get to edit entities, create particle systems, set up stuff like areas and entities in the level to support the script. It is actually a lot of fun, and it allows for quite a bit of creativity. This particular puzzle is about having to jam a can of water mill to be able to get through it. But it first needs to be slowed down somehow. This is the machinery that controls the mill rotation speed. There is not much to say about this part, just a couple levers that change some values when moved, and do stuff when the right value is set. As you might already know, playing around with the combination of both levers, you can notice a background sound changing. At the time of working on this, there was no proper sound available for these background sounds, so I just picked some placeholders from what was in there already. I thought that creaky sound that is heard when the elevator falls down could do a nice one for the medium speed. How wrong I was. It was unbearable to say the least, so I just ended up removing all placeholders and leaving a to-do note in the script.
How about no? Pipe you see here can be broken to be used later to join the mill. It is actually a model with two bodies joined by a hinge joint. To do this part of the puzzle, I first made it so you could break the joint at some point when pulling, but this just felt really strange. So I just asked James how we were doing this kind of stuff in the game, and he told me to just add some area that counted hits in the script. So every time the pipe collided with this area, certain variable was increased by 1. If you enable the debug window, you can see this area with activating the draw physics debug option. When this variable reached a given value, it triggers the breakage of the pipe, spawning the broken pipe item, and that's how it works. Ow! Fucking fuck! Mm. This is tedious.